Perfectionism is not the same thing as striving to be your best. Perfectionism is a belief that if we live perfect, look perfect, and act perfect, we can minimize or avoid the pain of blame, judgment, and shame. That is why your perfectionism is causing you to feel depressed. I'm Sanj and welcome to Master Your Mindset, Master Your Life. This is a podcast that helps you to master your mindset to help you navigate life's challenges, to help you reach new heights with easy to implement techniques so you can master your life. If you get something from this episode, please share it with someone who you think would benefit, and I'd also really appreciate it if you could leave me a rating or a review. The topic of today is going to be perfectionism and why it is causing you to feel depressed, why it's holding you back, and actually why it's actually a negative thing. We believe in perfection. We believe that we can do things absolutely 100% correct. And the benefit of letting go of this idea and the ways to move past it will actually help you more than you can imagine. Because perfect doesn't exist. Perfect is not something in everyone's mind. Not everything is perfect. Something that's perfect in your eyes is not the same through someone else's. What is perfect to you will not be. It may in fact be really bad in someone else's eyes. So you struggling and striving for that perfection in your eyes may actually just be wasting your time or holding you back. Your obsession with perfect is causing your depression. It's causing you to stay stagnant. It's causing you to hold yourself back. It can be a silent thief of joy because it's setting you unrealistic expectations. And when you start striving for perfect in everything you do, what you're doing is you're setting yourself unrealistically high standards. And by doing that, you're just setting yourself up for failure. This constant striving for unattainable goals can actually lead you to feeling inadequate and depressed. When you are a perfectionist, you're actually more prone to anxiety and depression because of the stress that you're putting on yourself, the pressure that you're causing yourself. When you actually focus on perfectionism, it actually comes with a paralyzing fear of making mistakes. And actually this fear, it can prevent you from not only taking risks, but it can actually prevent you from trying new things. And by doing that, by actually stopping you from doing new things, it's going to lead to stagnation and the feelings of being stuck in your life. When you're actually worried about not being perfect, you will not make that first move. And then when you add to it the fact that the pressure to be perfect can actually lead you to cause your own chronic stress and burnout. You're doing that because you're constantly feeling like you're not good enough. And that feeling will take a toll on your mental and physical well-being. How many times have you felt like that when you've done a bit of work? You thought you'd done really well. And then someone said, you know what, you need to improve here, 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 and here. Then you go away feeling that bit of perfect work that you thought was perfect. You then feel depressed. You feel angry. You feel like all that effort was not worth it. And it ends up making you feel more depressed. It also increases your anxiety and your anxiousness because then when you're doing something in the future, you're going to remember this moment. You're going to remember that feeling that you had when you thought something was perfect for yourself, but it wasn't for someone else. And then when you start to feel like that, it's actually going to stop you from taking the steps that you need to move forward. We believe, and you believe there's such a thing as perfection. And you strive for it because of societal pressures. Society just glorifies perfection. Imagine it. You see all these images about the perfect body, the perfect house, the perfect life. You see it on social media. You see it on adverts. And so what it does is actually it sets up unrealistic expectations in your mind. And then by default, this is then causing you to meet these, or to try and meet these unattainable ideals. But the truth is what's perfect to someone, as I said, is not perfect to someone else. What looks good to someone will not look good to someone else. And you have to realize that. You have to know what is perfect for you. You have to realize actually the perfection that you see on an advert, on an Instagram post, on a Facebook post. That perfect, is that the perfect you want in your life? This goes back to actually measuring yourself with someone else's ruler. What is successful to someone else may not be success to you. To someone else, success may be having a six-pack, being able to travel the world. For you, success may be having the most caring and loving family. Don't be forced into thinking perfection is the six-pack and traveling the world when that isn't perfection to you. The next thing we believe there's such a thing as perfection is because we want that validation and approval from someone else. At our hearts, at our most basic level, we seek to be validated and we seek approval from those around us. So when we try to be perfect, when you're trying to be perfect, it's because you're wanting that external validation. That external validation can temporarily boost your self-esteem. But the problem is once that moment has gone, once you have had that pat on the back, once you have had that compliment, that moment has gone. And so that dopamine hit that you got is not sustainable in the long run. You're then going to have to do something else to seek that validation, to seek that approval. So seeking validation from others is a significant driver of perfectionist tendencies. It means that you're going to keep searching for the perfect because you want that validation, you want that approval. And the other reason why we strive for perfection is because we don't want to be judged. We fear criticism, we fear judgment. So you drive yourself to perfection. You drive yourself to do as good a job as you can because then you believe that actually if you're perfect, it will protect you from the negative evaluations from others. But the truth is that no matter what you do, someone will always have something to say. Someone will always have their opinion. Someone will always have something which may hurt you in some way, shape or form. But when you keep striving for that perfection, when you keep pushing for it, you think that all of it will go away. No. In fact, if you're too good, that's when more people will start to judge you. That's when more people will start to actually have their 2 cents worth, will want to put in their opinion. So this is where you need to start to actually learn to release that idea of perfect. When you release that idea of perfect, it is freeing. The weight is lifted off your shoulders. You're happier. You're elated because you no longer are waiting for all these things. You're no longer scared of judgment. You're no longer scared of the societal pressures of what other people are doing. You're no longer seeking that validation or that approval. And so what does that lead to? That leads to increased happiness because when you stop striving for perfection, you free yourself to enjoy your life more fully. You'll embrace your imperfections. You'll start to love them. And that will lead to a happier and more fulfilled life because you're no longer looking externally for that happiness. When you accept your flaws, you are going to be happier than when you're waiting for other people to accept you. It also means that you can improve your relationships because you're no longer putting on a front for other people. You're no longer pretending to be someone you're not. When you let go of that perfectionism, it can improve your relationships because you're going to be the real version of you. You're going to be authentic. And you're going to be vulnerable. And when you're like that, when you're authentic and you're vulnerable, it actually fosters deeper connection with other people. It's actually been shown that when you want to build strong, meaningful relationships with people, you need to show that you are vulnerable, that you have something invested. And another thing is, when you release the idea of perfection, you will find that your creativity goes through the roof. When you release that need for perfection without worrying about what other people are saying about you, without looking for their validation and approval, it actually allows you to be more creative and innovative. You're more likely to take risks, to think outside the box. You're more likely to be creative and productive because you no longer care. You're doing it for you. You're doing it something that makes you happy. So if you want to actually do that, if you want to live that life, the one that actually makes you happy, the one that makes you fulfilled, the one that actually you wake up every single morning excited to live, here are 4 ways you can push past your perfectionism. First thing is, set your realistic goals. Break your goals into manageable steps. You're not going to finish one piece of art in 10 minutes. Focus on one step at a time. You can't build a house in one go. It has to be done brick by brick. Think of your final goal as a house and break it down into brick by bricks. Celebrate your achievements. Take your time, take a step back, reevaluate, see, is this what you want? Do you need to make changes? When you set achievable goals, it can reduce your stress and improve your mental health. The next thing when you're overcoming perfectionism is to practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself when things don't go to plan. Don't beat yourself up. Don't have a go at yourself. Don't berate yourself. When you actually show yourself love, when you show yourself compassion, you're going to lower your anxiety, you're going to lower your depression. You're going to actually start to, again, enjoy yourself more. You're not going to be striving and stressing yourself out. The next thing is, embrace your mistakes as opportunities. Every mistake you make is an opportunity to learn something and grow. It's not a failure. Failure isn't falling down, it's staying down. When you shift your mindset to actually embrace mistakes as opportunities, it can actually help you reduce your fear of failure. And imagine what you can achieve then. Imagine what is possible. You're not scared about what other people are saying. You're not scared what they're thinking. You're just going to do what you want because you know that even if you do fall over, you're going to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and have another go. You're going to foster that resilience. And then a final thing, just try it out. If you're worried about perfectionism, reduce your exposure to the perfect world of social media. Focus on real life interactions and experiences instead. It will help with your mental well-being. Perfectionism is just a trap that can lead to depression and anxiety. So when you let go of the need to be perfect, when you embrace your authentic self, you can end up living a happier and more fulfilled life. So what areas of your life can you let go of perfection and actually embrace progress instead? You are enough just as you are. And so until next time, keep striving for progress, not perfection. Remember, your mindset shapes your reality. You master it and you'll master your life. My mission is to make a positive impact on the world, and I sincerely hope you can help me do that by liking, by following, and by sharing this podcast with others. So until next time, keep seeking, keep growing, and keep mastering your mindset to master your life. Thank you.